Hi, my name is Eddie Sparks from Hermosa Beach Marketing, and we left off talking about the operations department and how you're in control of the operations department. This is my Manly Business Minute, brought to you from beautiful Myrdal, Norway, something like that. I just got stuck on a train. It's not that fun. So let's talk about management. I can talk about management all day. What do I know? I'll tell you why I know a lot about management. Because one thing that I probably did for quite some time that you may not have the experience in, which is being a good number two. Being a number two means you run everything, all day, all night, every department, multiple businesses at a time. Because dudes I work for run multiple businesses, multiple properties, multiple different types of businesses, different accounting departments for each one. So I've handled a lot in my time, plus my own business at the same time. So right now I'm going to talk about operations and management from the operations side. So let's talk about your number two in operations, the head of your operations department. Could be a bunch of different styles of people, but let me tell you exactly how you run that business. First of all, I'm only accustomed to work around dudes. So when I talk about operations, I expect dudes to come to work, because dudes will always come to work. You can get an argument with the dude and he'll still come to work, mainly because dudes come to work. They got families to feed. That's why it's better to hire men than women. Not always, but if you got women on your crew, you got to have a female head manager too. They got to be able to deal with the women too, because ain't no man gonna be able to tell no woman what to do. Not today, not ever. So let me tell you about how your style affects your operations manager. The first thing you want to do is set up a powwow every morning. Your powwow has to do with coffee. Coffee with no sugar, coffee with no cream, coffee, black. That's how you run an operations department. With a bunch of men. You give them coffee in the morning, you sit around every morning for about 5 to 10 minutes, and you wait and see who shows up. 1, 2, you talk to everybody in that circle every day. You're not asking them all sorts of stuff, but you do want to know quite a bit about their life, what they're going through. 2, you want to know how their families are doing. But 3, you want to learn a little bit about how they are today. Because if they're intoxicated today, that's not a reason to be upset. That's just a reason to make sure that they're not going to hurt anybody else on the job. I don't care if they're hammered. I don't care if they show up like a tomato, shaking from head to toe. Those men got out of bed and came to work, and they deserve to get paid. I don't care if they show up 5-10 minutes late. I want them there at work. I don't need early people. We're talking about your manager, what he's supposed to do. Your manager is supposed to have a little powwow with his crew to discover who's trashed and who's not. I don't care if they come to work trashed for 14 years in a row. As long as they come to work, they're always good, and it's always part of the family. Things that affect your crew affects you. So specifically, the heavy machinery can't be run by people that are intoxicated in the morning. They got to get some coffee in them to get themselves going. It can't have sugar in it or cream, otherwise they'll fall apart later. So they need black coffee in order to survive. That's not an opinion. That's a proven system that I've seen work over and over and over again. Have a powwow, get your crew together, make sure it's 5-10 minutes a day, every morning, without fail. Let other people show up, because everybody's going to have a different day, and everybody's allowed to have a few days of insanity a year. But they need to show up, and then those are your key people. That's on crew, and your manager needs to sit there and deal with it. He can't feel prejudice or mad. This is not a mad or sad or an aware thing. So-and-so is a crackhead, blah, 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 blah. You always take people at point face value. Point face value is they're going to be all right, and they're not going to mess with their livelihood. So you need to have a powwow every day when it comes to managing and when it comes to your operation manager and how they feel and how they operate their crew. Remember, the main reason why I'm making these videos is because I don't want you to be a pussy when you're running no business. You run a man's business like a man, and you expect men to go to work. I don't care if you fist fight them. I knew guys that slept with the boss's wife who still had a job afterwards. I fist fought them myself on an airplane. But those guys always come to work because most of the time they're broke, and broke people come to work. Very few times broke people sacrifice themselves for the job. That's besides what I'm talking about. Man minute, your minute for today is simply powwow in the morning. Execute it. You don't have to execute it today. You set a plan. This is how it's going to be from today till this business grows or this business fails. It will be this way every day. Your ass ain't going to come to work with no accountability and just leave and go to your job. Y'all going to come to work and have a little powwow so I know who's trash and who's not, and who's going to be driving my vehicles today. I don't want nobody operating the heavy machinery when it affects other people, because safety is key in operations. So, what do I know? My name is Eddie Sparks. That's your minute for today from a man. Most of Beach Marketing, you want me to show up on your job site, you want me to show up in your business when you're on vacation, you let me know. See ya. This is your Man Minute.